What's up? This is your man Dre Mac, and in this video, we're gonna go over Black Panther number 7. Did Kafuma kill Bobby Nikisu and then blame it on T'Challa? Oh, we gotta get into this. You already know what it is. But the real question is, alright guys, so we're picking back up on Black Panther. This is issue number 7, and we're picking up right where we left off at with Bobby Nikisu. Now, he's still calling out the name of Kafuma multiple times, but the problem is now that it looks like he's dying because Kafuma is actually possessing his whole entire body, and to my understanding, I don't believe he could be able to handle all the power that Kafuma has. So Kafuma is leaving his body, and T'Challa's coming over to him and saying, you know, Bobby Nikisu, I need you to stay with me. I need to talk to you. You need to stay with me. And he's still calling out to Kafuma until you actually see the mist of Kafuma actually leave. And then you see his daughter Alina come over, and she fires a shot at T'Challa. And he's, you know, T'Challa's saying, hey, you know, stay calm, I might be able to help him. And he said, no, just get away from him, get away from him. And he's still calling out for Kafuma while Alina is saying, Baba, I'm here, you know what I'm saying, it's me, what, you know, what are you doing? And he dies. Alina goes out and tries to attack T'Challa. In the midst of this, she's asking some of the guards to go out and take out the Black Panther, and they're shooting at him, and then Black Panther doing Black Panther things, flips off, you know. Now because he's getting shot at, an action scene, you know, takes place, and this is something that I actually love. Black Panther doing this thing, you know, kicking fools in the face, you know, then they're still shooting at him. We already know he's got the vibranium suit, you know, and this is completely unnecessary. So he takes out the guards, you know, and it says, I said I bid farewell. So now, you know, he's in burning T'Chaka, and he's just sitting by himself, and he's narrating to himself, like, you know, or he's talking to himself like, you know, Bobby Nikisu is dead. You know, they appear and fell well. This fashion is almost as a scale of a state funeral, and you see this beautiful procession for Bobby Nikisu is almost look exactly like what we seen in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie, with everybody wearing all white, which, to my understanding, this is a tradition in a lot of African countries to wear all white in a funeral. So they go off and they burn Bobby Nikisu, you know, and again, T'Challa is narrating to himself. It's like it's really something to behold, you know, grave him like, well, like a king, you know, and he starts to come to a realization for himself. He said this should be a cause for a celebration because, you know, Bobby Nikisu is dead, and he's the one who's been burning T'Chaka this whole entire time. And for his understanding is that, you know, even though that I can celebrate this, there's no time for celebration. You know, he said the Liangas are taking full advantage of this at the moment. I see, and Bobby Nikisu was a thorn in my side and a dagger in my heart in the city, but when you remove the dagger with haste, blood flows freely. And that's just a metaphor, is that, yeah, we took out one, but everything is going to flow right after that. And he's like, I've done very little to suitor to this wound. So he's even saying to himself, I haven't done enough to be able to, you know, patch this up. And on top of that, you have the ghost or that mist of Kafuma that's laying around. And my prediction right now is that Alina is going to be the one who gets possessed by Kafuma. That is my call right now. You know, Kafuma has a beef with the Black Panther. Even though it was Matili, he still has a beef with the Black Panther. Alina now has a beef with the Black Panther because she thinks he's the one who killed her father. So now this is a perfect setup for Alina and Kafuma to become one and to be able to go after the Black Panther. Now we go in and we see these guys actually getting ready to burn up this particular area here. And you know, even one of the guys said the Kiso Patriots Casino wants to make a point now that the old man is gone and he's up in flames, and so is his territory. So they're making their mark in the territory. He's like, who's even going to notice us without the smoke in the air? And then bam, here comes T'Challa again. Great action scene. Looked like he clocked him with that spear right in his jaw. You know, he said, this lets me feel something, you know, use, meaning. Now we pop up in the office of Nairobi. He's even talking to Nairobi. He was like, you know, I lack purpose. You said, you know, you can, you know, if you want to hang out, you don't have to break in. So he's having this whole conversation about Bob and Nakisu and why everything, you know, that he feels like he failed. He felt like he feels like he failed because he was like, you know, I could have brought him to justice and everything. But, you know, even though he's dead, I just don't feel like, you know, that I'm doing enough. You know, so again, this is an interesting, you know, dialect that's going on between Nairobi and T'Challa. And the reason why this is, you know, this is interesting is because it's something that T'Challa says, and I think that's going to play into the future of T'Challa going forward. He said, it has always been this way. My father, my grandfather, so unaware of what's going on from far from the golden city, and I am practicing relevance. Do my people need me here? There's a whole ecosystem that I'm still so far from understanding. And that is a great reflection of his character, which Dr. Eve Ewing is doing a great job of this. He's saying, am I really, you know, so removed from this that I don't actually understand the common person? You know, I don't understand what this actual city needs from me. You know, and then when he becomes king again, that's going to be something, because now he really truly understands what the city needs from him. So to be a great ruler, you got to know the people. You know, and I love the way that they're setting this up. A lot of people, you know, want T'Challa to hurry up and become king. He was king before. But again, this is an excellent dynamic. If you're going to be king, why don't you be a king that understands the people and the landscape so you can be able to rule better? So now it's not like a democracy. This monarchy can be able to take a whole new meaning to it, because now you're looking at the other side of the coin. You know exactly what the people need. And it's something that interested in Nairobi is telling them, you know, he said, you know, if you're going to become one with the city, you need to understand the city. What do you do outside of here? Besides being Black Panther, what are you actually doing? What is your favorite food or snack? Where do you go kick it at? Even the person that you become, you know, as your disguise. What kind of music does he like? You know, where does he go out on weekends? You know, what is your favorite bookstore? Who are you? And how does that affect the actual people? And I believe that this is an excellent point that Nairobi is making. He was like, if you're going to be T'Challa or Easy, then who are you? What defines you? And that's something that a lot of writers have done with Batman, you know, and other characters, is not only defining them by the superhero moniker or maybe the daytime moniker, but who are they? How do you fit in this? And a lot of times you have to be able to define yourself by not just what you do, but who you are. And that plays a big factor into redeveloping who T'Challa is. And again, without a love interest, without anything, who is T'Challa in this new land? So I absolutely love the dialogue that is going on with this. So Nairobi gives him an itinerary. Hey, we gonna get you out. It's almost like your buddy that always works, man. We're gonna get you outside, man. We're gonna have you kicking it. We're gonna have you doing things. So, you know, he sends T'Challa, you know, on this itinerary so he can go kick it, you know. And then you see this panel of the places, you know, that he's go, you know, he's just being himself, you know. And actually, like, dude, take a vacation, bro. Take a vacation, know who you are, go have fun, go visit these monuments or whatever, you know what I mean? So, you know, he narrates a little bit like, hear the echo in the Terror Cliff. This is one of the things. Wednesday, Kawato nights at TJ's Tavern, where he goes kicking it. Sunday, KK Showcase, Mango Cake at the Kiftu Market Midnight Harvest, and Gibete Tournament in the Metelli Park. So this is all the things that he went to go do. And of course, T'Challa being T'Challa, can't help but overhear some of the things that is going on. Like, Alania, you have this conversation with these two guys playing, this game similar to chess. And he says Alanya has lost all sense of reason, truly of her father's violence, none of his strategy. So she's out here just playing, just doing the fool. Now, T'Challa being T'Challa, because he can't help himself in the skies of easy, he goes out and he's listening to these two old guys talking about Alanya. And she says she did personally, she is cleaning the house, bringing all new people who will be loyal to her, says the old guard is full of snakes. So he's listening to this and getting all of the information that he possibly can. And see, in these two old guys says, hey, she will be the death of us. Indeed, you have lost, Josie, my friend. He said, I never liked this game anyway. So again, he's going out, he knows these particular people, he knows Josie, and of course, T'Challa being T'Challa, under the disguise, he's supposed to be kicking it, and he's still gaining intel because this guy is intelligent. So, in this club, he rolls up on Josie, who just got through talking about, the game and what's going on with Leilania, and says, hey, busy night, ain't it, Josie? And he was like, hey, the wedding caterer, with the Bruce Lee moves, because remember, we go back to, I believe it was Black Panther number 5, where he is the waiter character with Bezzy, and he goes in and he handles business, and they were surprised that this guy who's a common guy, who came in with all these particular type of moves and techniques and everything, so he's meeting this guy at the bar, and he's saying, I'm usually here on Wednesdays for Cueco. Now, knowing good and well he lying. This is the first time he went to go kicking it. But again, he's getting intel, he's getting information, because he is T'Challa. And now he's asking for a job, because he was like, hey, I want to kind of, see if you had any work for me. He's like, you know what? I do have some work for you. So a few days later, he's the bouncer at this club. And, he kind of narrates and says, I know that Nairobi intentions for my homework assignment was not to pick up new leads, but it hasn't hurt. So even in the midst of him, going out, kicking it, just kind of finding out who he is, he had to pick up some leads. So now he's a bouncer at this club. Some of these women come up, they're trying to be all cute and cuddly, but like, hey, can I get in? He was like, nope, not today, buddy. So now on the midst of that, he actually sees Miss Nikisu. Now Nikisu comes up and says, hey, you was at my brother's wedding. Remember, she's part of the other family, so he was like, you're at my brother's wedding, let's go out, and I need a driver, so won't you go ahead, and be my driver for the night? And he was like, yes, ma'am, we could be able to do it. So they actually got somebody to cover the door while he goes and drives for Nikisu. Now, Mr. Kisu was asking him different questions like, are you offended by violence? He's like, I'm not, miss. He said, you ought to be, and the city has torn this city asunder. Perhaps, maybe there's moments where violence is necessary. So they get into this debate while he's driving, and she starts to reveal a lot of things that is going to be vital coming up in the future. And it says, my father lived a life of violence, and thus he suffered a violent death at the hands of violent despots, a disgraced king meddling out his vengeance. And again, this is something that, Easy, T'Challa disguised as Easy needs to hear, because now he's feeling the underbelly of why you're having all of these, situations and these things going on here. He said, my sister-in-law knows powerful people in the parliament. When I have sufficient evidence, I plan to turn over the Black Panther so he can suffer like the criminal he is. He said, it's strange to hear someone like me chastise a criminal. Admittedly, Miss Kisu. He said, yes, well, this is my father's business, and I'm still a guest at my father's house. So now she's even questioning, where she at as far as her father's house, because again, all of this crime that's going on in the city is being inherited by the children. And again, this is almost a similar thing that's going on with T'Challa. You've been inherited, the kingdom of Wakanda to be able to take care of his people, but you sometimes feel a gas. And again, If you don't know what's going on with the people, how can you ever be, a great ruler or a great king? And in this case, even a great criminal mastermind, if you don't even know what's going on with the people that you're serving under. So, he goes into this place where there's all these archives and stuff is at, and he's kind of asking this question like, your father must have been a very learned man, so many documents. He was like, nope, just a hoarder, but it's certain things that I'm looking at. Now, she dismissed Easy for the night, and I'm not gonna lie, Easy gotta be like 7'4", you know what I mean? Because the panel of him versus everybody else is humongous. You know what I'm saying? He looks like Andre the Giant in his Easy form. That is hilarious. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that's what I noticed. So a day later, you see this young man that's coming up, and Bessa is stalking him, because again, we're trying to get intel. So she runs into this guy and grabs some of his papers and stuff like that, and kind of gives him his information back. And now again, she's communicating with T'Challa. He said, yes, I got what you asked for Exalize, or I think it's Alexi. I'll send it over to you as soon as I get the other half of my payment. And he was like, how did he yeah, the other half of the payment, yes, thanks. So you meet up with Bessie and T'Challa, and he says, so Baba was in the business with the Cartier St. Croix, the uber wealthy ambassador. You said it looks that way, and according to everything I could dig up, no one has seen hide nor hair of the St. Crux in weeks, maybe months. Now, let me give you who the Crux is. Well, the Crux, I think it's Crux. Forgive me for my broken French. But oh my God, this is awesome. So Monet St. Crux is actually a part of that Cartier St. Crux family that Bessie is actually talking about with T'Challa. Now, she actually debuted in Uncanny X-Men number 316 way back in 1994. She was part of the teenage group, the Generation X, back in 94. She's been a part of the X-Men and X-Factor. Now, she is a telepath. She has telekinesis abilities. She actually has superhuman strength, superhuman speed. She has a healing factor. Let me tell you, she's a badass. So she is a part of this story, which this makes it so much interesting, because again, they're talking about this family. What is going to happen once they meet up with each other and all of that? Will it be a brawl? Will it be a fight? We got to see that coming up. Now, the Sacred, you get this conversation where she says the Sacred Holiday Home Mountain chalet about an hour outside the city. Fancy a vacation, Bessie. He said, you're dusting off the rolls. He was like, actually, I thought it would be nice to take the train. So now they're going to go to the St. Crux, or St. Crux. I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I'm saying it wrong, forgive me. Just put it in the comment section. But so they go into this the St. Crux family, which is this big beautiful house. They got money, trust me, they are rich, and they're going around and they're looking within the house, and it was like, hey, no one's been here in a long time. How is it on your end? Anything interesting? It's like, this looks promising, and very promising. So they get the St. Cruz and Kitsu paperwork, and then Monet jumps in, says, excuse me, mind telling me what the hell you doing in my house? And fine ass Monique St. Croix comes in. Now, I would love to see her in live action. Who can play her? I don't know, but I would love for her to show up in live action, because I think she'll be an amazing part of any X-Men story, or even if she can show up in the next Black Panther recast T'Challa story. I think that would be awesome. So what do you guys think about issue number 7 of Black Panther? Do we have something going on here? Are you enjoying what Dr. Eve Ewing is doing? Make sure you put it in the comment section. Again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher.